Well, of course, I've heard that tune before. I just didn't know that it was Tad Dameron's tune. I always assumed that
Yeah.
was a Coltrane song, right?
Well,
Yeah.
it's written for Train.
Yeah. Named after him. Yeah. I mean,
So, like the famous tragic recording of Bird playing on Loverman when he was about to have his schizophrenic breakdown in Los Angeles. And he records Gypsy and Loverman. Well, Loverman became a huge hit in a weird kind of way, and Bird hated it because it was Bird super fucked up, super tragically incapable of playing the great Bird. But people liked it so much, especially black musicians, because it was an exposure of the soul of Bird, the sort of tragic, conflicted, genius, crazy Bird. And they could hear it through this fatally flawed recording on Loverman. And the phrase that everybody would use, they'd say, I know it's got mistakes and everything in it, but it's nothing but soul. And you're like,
right.
nothing but soul. They really heard the soul of Bird through the tragedy and through the squeaks and the false starts and the sort of awkwardness of what's usually an effortless 30-second note tour de force on Loverman. That's something Bird could do, pull out of the rabbit out of the hat any time. And so that word soul, like Soul Train, it's getting attached to letting those notes hang out there, kind of vulnerable. Does Train play any of the 30-second note stuff that he's capable of on that one? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Does it have that beautiful lyrical element to it? Yeah, that's what they're going for. The Soul Train, right?
Yeah. When you hear Tad's solo, it's sounding like Bill Evans. If I didn't know, I would
Yeah,
have thought that's Bill Evans playing.
yeah.
So there's
Definitely
a
that's that chord style. They're playing the block chord style right there. And Tad Dameron being the great arranger, that comes from his great knowledge of those harmonic voicings, the resonant voicings on the piano, and the ultra modern and hip. If you look at the chord changes on a lead sheet piece of music, 1-6-2-5, 3-6-2-5 doesn't sound like you're going to be able to do anything magic with that, right? Oh yes, you can. Here goes Tad Dameron. He's going to show you how to do it. And the other key ingredient on that album is Philly Joe Jones. Once again, he's got that great, weird, implied double up with the hi hats that he does, and all of a sudden the music kind of walks and has a walking ballad kind of motion to it. So it's not a boring ballad that just sits there for 5 minutes of boringness. It kind of moves along, and that's the drummer kind of moving it along real nice like that.
Yeah, and then moving back down into the lyrical, tasty
Mm-hmm.
note piano
Yeah,
solo. Yeah,
yeah. When
yeah,
you go to the bridge, and then when you go to the bridge on the head out, then you go back into ballad time, and it's over.
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, amazing recording, and again you hear Coltrane's just mastery at being able to combine his technical virtuosity with just beautiful, romantic, sentimental playing when it's called for.
Yeah,
Nobody did a ballad better than this guy either.
that's it. Yeah, right. And remember, this timbre on the tenor is still totally fresh, unheard of. That glassy, high register thing that Train's doing, those grace notes that he plays on, that he's become signature known for. That's what makes it beautiful. Like, you can't just play the note like by itself. It's how you glissandi up into it and how you ornamentize the note to give it like a singer does. That's what
Yeah,
singers do, right? You don't
that's
just sing the note. You give the note some life.
yeah,
And
that's exactly what I was about to say. Just like a singer. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
it's palm key singing. He's playing the melody way on top of the horn. It has nothing to do with tenor saxophone up there. Like, what? Nobody did that yet. That was new. And it wins. Like, when you listen to it now, that sounds like that's how you play a tenor saxophone ballad, right? Am I right? That's how you do it.
Yeah, yeah,
But that was brand new back then.
right.
But he's going to run into problems in a minute here because the drug thing's making him unreliable. He might be the sweetest guy in the world, but he's showing up on Miles's gig. Miles has got a Columbia record deal. Miles has got a new box office draw. Miles is very serious about making a clean presentation of your person, of the music, like having your hair tight looking clean, not showing up like a dirty bum.
And
Coltrane's,
I was going to say, Miles famous for his, tweed jackets and suits and the
yeah,
dapper, respectful
right.
kind
Now
of
also,
presentation.
right, and in the black community, still to this day, it's important to represent properly. So when you have a megaphone, like being a celebrity of any sort, and you're black in a segregated, shitty America of racist bullshit, it's important to represent your people, represent the struggle of the people, represent the sophistication and intelligence of the people, so that you can work towards smashing down the racist history of the United States, right? And this is an important element to take into consideration for all of it. And every one of those brothers knows exactly that they're a part of that, and the ones who disrespect that are going to get chastised by the whole community. And so Miles isn't just representing Miles, and he's representing the furtherment of the people.
Let me ask you a quick question. Yeah. Something I've always kind of wondered about. Do you think that Miles, Bird, Coltrane, that they, as the men, they're creating this music, but did they have a conscience? I mean, did they have a sense that they were creating the most sophisticated new music in the world? Did they have a sense of that? That
absolutely.
So that they know what they're up to. That this is highly advanced,
hell yeah,
highly
hell yeah,
intelligent
oh yeah,
thing they're doing. And here with the racism, being demeaned as not having the intellectual capabilities, not having the capacities to do the things that whites could do.
Right.
I mean, here they know they're proving it all wrong. That they are the ones that are the vanguard.
That's right.
They are the cutting edge.
Absolutely. And they're diplomatic in how they talk about it. Even Bird is, he goes into his sort of, British accent or something whimsical, absolutely knows damn well exactly what the hell's happening and can explain it all to you. And it's totally black nationalist, very well read. I'm sure they all read Marcus Garvey, and, they're all totally down with Malcolm X and everything he's about. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're a part of the movement. They know exactly what's up, and all the brothers that they're making this music with do too. That's a big core of the music and the movement, is to the advancement and bringing in advanced harmony and advanced music language and mixing it with African American black feeling and blues, and you mix that all together, you've got the most winning combo. We're still talking about it.
Yeah, and the discipline to study this music, as you talked about Coltrane, voraciously practicing, and I guess Bird in his young days, same thing. That they've devoted the zillions of hours to perfecting this thing, and it's kind of like if you were, an Einstein or something, and nobody's paying attention to you because of who you are, and that you're discovering the keys to the universe, and yet you're playing a little crappy club on the other side of town instead of the concert hall that you belong in.
Yeah. I feel that way about my own music, for sure, right? As arrogant as that sounds. But no, that's an element of it, the alienation of the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's something to just in terms of, what...
Remember, you can't play trumpet like Miles Davis without practicing 4 hours a day for your whole life. Yeah. Trumpet is a bitch, man. You have to practice the shit out of that instrument every day, or your chops go away in 2 days' time. Dizzy Gillespie, are you kidding me? That guy he must have practiced to 40,000 hours.
Yeah. So I guess...
nobody logged more... And Red Garland, you can't play piano like that without practicing your ass off. That's some clean, highly refined mechanical stuff going on, and the science of the intervals and the chords and the resonances. That's science. That's not just like, natural feeling or talent. It's no. That is science.
Deep mathematics, yeah. And
be
able to do all that on the fly. I mean, that's I think, of course, any of us who aren't great jazz musicians, that's what we, as, if you're a musician and you love jazz, you go like, how did they possibly move? How does their brain work that fast? It seems impossible. So,
well, it turns into sort of the mysterious element of it is can be summed up in the word improvisation. So, like, the classical composers are doing the same thing that these improvisers are doing, but they're sweating over every note on a piece of paper to have an orchestra play it and play it the same way every time. These guys are playing it together extemporaneously, and it's just as deep mathematically and resonance chords-wise. It's just as deep as what these composers are laboring over, and yet they're able to do it on silly standards.
Right.
The reason why they do it on silly standards is so that the audience has a way in, because everybody knows the way you look tonight.
Right.
So if they do it really fast and play outrageously erudite, linear, resonant music on this familiar Trojan, the way you look tonight, now you've got a way in.
Well, and later we're going to get to, when Coltrane recorded a silly show tune from Broadway, and had the biggest success of his career, right, with My Favorite Things.
Right.
So
the Christmas music,
and that was my way into Coltrane. That's probably the first thing I heard, and I knew that melody, and then I could get a sense of where it was, going.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess I brought that up, and it's nothing that anyone hasn't said before, but I think that, when we talk about the heroin habits of the day, and we talked earlier about the impact of Bird, but also, when you're not respected on this level that you deserve, there's a lot of sadness in that,
Yeah, there's the alienation thing. That's one way of explaining the dope thing. Mind you, the opium high is it's a sensual high of abandonment, and it enables you to you're not thinking about anything on the practical level, taking out the trash, making a car payment, none of that's really coming into your mind here. You're totally abandoned to the sensuality of the sounds and the music. Let's say if you're a musician, or if you're a painter, it would be the colors in the canvas and the sensuality of the paint. And it enables you to go into this sort of space with it. That's why people have been doing it for thousands of years. It's not like it's doesn't have a magic quality to it. It does. But the problem is the addiction that goes along with it will ruin you.
So,
and it will kill you.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, leading us kind of to the end of our first episode here, Miles gets fired from...
No, Miles fires Train. That's right.
Yeah, because
so once again,
of the heroin.
Once again, he's showing up on stage late, dressed like a bum. Miles even puts him down with the worst cut of all time, which is eating his boogers on stage, which sounds that's pretty bad. God. My hero, Coltrane, eating boogers on stage. It's hard to handle. I don't want to hear that. And there it is. And so Miles fires him backstage. I'm not sure if it was at Birdland, but it was a show that they were playing. Monk was there, and Monk came to Coltrane's assist after Miles punched Train out.
Wow.
He was so furious with, his right-hand man, the second voice in his band, showing up for the 1000th time, high on the job, looking like shit, being a junkie clown.
Wow.
He couldn't, and Miles has a temper, and Miles is like, he always fantasized about being a boxer or whatever the hell. So, he's punching out Train. Monk's a big dude, and Monk's not afraid to wrangle with people. He's from Harlem or whatever. He's not a gentle soul like Train is. So Monk comes to Train's assist and protects him kind of from Miles' further abuse. But Train's getting fired for the third time from playing and now he's playing in a gig that's going to lead to good things for him, and he just can't leave the shit alone and get out of his own way to be a success. And so that's going to end the show. He's going to go off to Philly. He's going to go off to Philly and go through the terror and crucible of getting clean, and that's going to change his life and change what he becomes.
Yeah. Well, on that harrowing final note,
I know, it's so tragic.
Yeah,
right?
We're gonna wrap up episode 1 of our Coltrane audio biography. And
it was a real pleasure to talk about it.
Yeah, and episode 2, we're going to get into what happens to Coltrane. How does he get back? How does he turn his life around and go on the next
Meet his destiny,
Yeah.
right? Meet his destiny.
and go on the next tear of genius as he rebounds and all that. So we'll get into that in episode 2. Again, you can check out the Patreon page to get transcriptions of some of the music you're hearing, and also lessons with Timo on your favorite instrument, sax, bass, or anything else in between. If you want to, if you want to get better explanations of the bebop language than I could comprehend. Be sure to check out that if you want to get deeper into it. And like we said, that's going to be an 8-part series. This one we're making available to everybody to get the word out, and we'll be having one more free episode, episode number 5. But if you want the other episodes coming along like this one, subscribe at Patreon for the exclusive content. And until then, we'll see you next time.
All right, looking forward to the next one.
All right. Thanks, Timo.
See ya.
Bye.